Dan Jurgens and Ryan Sook reunite the world's greatest superheroes as Blue Beetle rejoins Booster Gold to take down an alien ship that has kidnapped the Justice League, with hopes that saving the heroes will give them a place on the team. Dan Jurgens returns to his creation Booster Gold along with his partner in crime Blue Beetle to reinvigorate their image a little, both in the comic world and outside of it, since it's been quite a long while since both these heroes have teamed up. Of course, this hasn't slowed down the characters or Dan, who fully embraces a social media, always online age with Booster Gold, having the hero live streaming and e-begging for money, something which I feel is a real organic extension of Michael Carter's whole search for fame shtick and doing anything to try and achieve that. You know, we saw it back when he first came out. He was all about brand deals and wanting companies to promote him and him promote the companies and stuff like that, and this is just a natural extension of that. I had my reservations if Dan could pull this off without sounding like an older writer trying to talk about things he might not fully understand, but throughout the issue I never once felt that sort of how do you do fellow kids thing, and hopefully he can keep that momentum going throughout the remaining 7 issues. Ryan Sook comes on as series artist, and his bright and fast-paced art style fits with these characters perfectly. I also really like the creative aspect that, because a lot of this issue is Booster live streaming his fight with this alien, we actually get to see a lot of the fight through the live stream's POV, which is through Skeets, which I thought was actually quite fun. I also really like that the duo's costumes weren't changed at all, it's just their classic costumes like they were first introduced into the world. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Blue and Gold issue 1 was a funny, surprisingly well done reunion for 2 beloved characters, updating them for a more modern time and giving them some new goals to strive towards, while also building up an alien enemy for the duo to battle over the miniseries. I'm going to give this issue an 8.5 out of 10. Blue and Gold issue 1 heads to New York City, where a woman can't believe her former boss is reverting to his old ways. She watches the Insta-Slam live stream of Booster Gold, who speaks about his grave threat he faces, asking people to subscribe to his Please Pay Me account he has while battling against fire from an alien ship above them in the city. Booster thinks that this sucks, but Skeets learns he's not talking about the ship, since thanks to his tech problems, he can't stream from Nick Knock, Blister or Facebase. Skeets knows that he should have thought of that, as Michael says that he wasn't born to riches like Batman or a journalist who can squeeze coal into diamonds. Skeets tries to tell him that Superman doesn't do this for the money, but Booster tells him that he needs people to watch and contribute. The hero shoots back at the ship, blowing up its antennae and freeing Michael to broadcast across all platforms again. Booster welcomes his viewers back to him taking out the most dangerous threat New York has ever seen, reminding them to please support his Please Pay Me account to get special VIP access. He continues blasting the ship, saying that word is the Justice League are trapped inside as a drone attacks him, saying that the hero's termination is required. Booster asks Skeets what he's dealing with, but the droid doesn't recognize it, but knows it is indeed alien. Booster ups his shield output, blasting the drone, but it grabs him, slamming him into the hull of the ship as the livestream viewers wonder who's gonna save Booster Gold. Across town, Ted Kord visits his father's grave, telling him that he screwed up big time and he thought that he would succeed since his last name was Kord, but the truth is that he made a mess of things, and while he can whip up tech like other inventors dream of, he can't do the one thing his father asked him to do. Skeets appears, telling Ted that he is needed since Michael Carter needs some help. Ted doesn't think he's up for it, wanting the droid to call the Titans or the League, but Skeets says that's the problem since Booster is battling an alien ship that has captured the Justice League. Ted wants to help, but he thinks that thanks to his heart, he can't, but Skeets knows his medical problems are a thing of the past, so he needs to help Booster Gold, otherwise he won't survive the hour. Ted thinks that him getting involved will end up shortening that hour, as Booster meanwhile is beaten up by the alien drone, knowing if not for his force field, he would have died. He tells those watching about how his suit works works and how it's full of future tech as the drone sees the force shield, deploying an energy buzzsaw to cut into it as Booster meekly asks for help. Luckily, Blue Beetle arrives in Bug, blasting the drone as Skeet says the drone's moves are determined by a sensor array on its head. Ted knows they now have a solution, flooding the drone with so much data it overwhelms it, causing it to plummet into the water tower below. Booster boards Bug, happy to see his friend, but Ted worries about the live stream learning about his identity. Michael reassures him he's offline now, as he asks if Skeet's faith in him was so low he had to put up the Beetle signal. Skeet says that his situation was dire and Ted was his only hope. Ted wants to get on with saving the League as Booster starts his live stream back up. Skeet wonders if he's thought that maybe his fans aren't the only ones watching, and maybe the captors are as well, so Michael decides against live streaming, instead wanting to stick with the world's greatest superhero team ever. Ted is glad that Blue and Gold is back together as Bug takes them towards the ship. Skeet is happy for the both of them being back together, but they are being targeted as Bug is obliterated by the alien ship's cannon, as Booster and Beetle narrowly escape the craft. Ted isn't too pleased his ship was destroyed, but Michael tells him he can just build another one, but Ted explains that's all he had left, but his friend knows he's loaded thanks to Cord Industries. Skeet suggests that they focus on their current mission as they enter the dark ship to save the Justice League. Booster thinks that they are being kidnapped for some obscene twisted purpose, as Blue Beetle thinks that maybe if the aliens can jail the League, this is too much for them to deal with. Heading deeper into the bowels of the ship, Booster doesn't want Ted to sell them so short since they have been on the League before, but Ted reminds him that was only for a few months, and it was when they weren't limited to A-listers. Soon they find the imprisoned League, and Skeets tells them that they need to hurry since the ship's transport propulsion pods are being powered up, and if the ship jumps, they could be a few trillion miles away. Booster starts streaming again, wanting the whole world to watch them when they save their super friends. The live chat returns, with some thinking this is just staged or deepfakes, as Skeet reminds them that if they fail, the world will see it. Ted thinks that he has a point, but Booster tells him to have some faith. Something Ted says is one thing, but the unyielding optimism in the face of overwhelming firepower is what concerns him. The heroes jump into action, battling more of the drones and cannons as Ted reminds Michael that he is the only one with a force shield, but Booster knows his sidekick won't get hurt on his watch. Ted screams he's not Booster's sidekick as Booster is wrapped up in a grapple which nullifies his shields and knocks him down. Skeets tells Ted he cannot avoid the blast, so he needs to leave the area, but the hero refuses despite the robot calling him a man of reason, so he needs to be reasonable now. With no other choice, Blue Beetle dives through a maintenance hatch in the ship's wall, learning that he's got 77 seconds until warp. Finding a computer terminal, Ted accesses it, knowing that this is some type of service tunnel for techs to do work in. He can't understand the language, but before Skeets can try and translate, Ted manages to unlock a door. The robots outside stop as the Justice League are freed from their restraints, knowing that the ship is about to warp. Black Canary thinks that Beetle is more tech wizard than she thought, as Naomi reminds Black Adam she can look after herself. Adam grabs the injured Booster, fleeing the ship with yells as the ship warps out of the area. Landing on a roof, Skeet says that unfortunately the ship is untraceable, so they can't follow it, and he is no longer streaming. Booster wants to focus on the good news, thinking that they are as good as in with the Justice League now, and they'll beg them to join the team. The League come to see them, thanking them for their help, as Booster notices Superman isn't with them, commenting how they're mostly B and C listers, and Ted knows that with them on the team, they can make them A-listers. Black Adam wants Booster to join him in cleaning up some of the rubble in the city, as Skeets thinks that Michael is being a bit too overconfident. As they leave, Green Arrow tells Ted that Adam is occupying Booster so they can talk quietly, telling Ted that his performance was outstanding and that they want him to join the Justice League. Ted can't believe that, thinking that Booster was right, but the League say they don't want Booster, they only want Ted. He says that Booster was the one who came for them and tried to rescue them, but the League know he's obnoxious and irritating and lacking any substance. Ted tells them that they are a team, and that means the League won't be getting either of them. The League take their leave as Ted knows that that was yet another costly screw-up and it's going to be a long list. Later on, Booster wants to know when they start on the Justice League, but Ted tells him that they didn't get invited. As people on the street recognize the heroes, Ted explains that he asked them, but they are closed ranks right now. Booster wonders what's wrong with them, since if it wasn't for them, they would be working in some alien sewage plant by now. Ted apologizes to his friend, but Michael says he doesn't care since he knew the League would hurt their reputations since they were the ones who needed rescuing, not them, reminding Ted it's bros before Rose. Ted is glad his friend feels like that since it's time they establish their own place in the world, somewhere where they can help people and cover stuff that Superman, Batman, and the other heroes don't deal with, but stuff that still requires some attention. Michael wonders how they'll find these people in need, but Ted says that they will find them, they just need to provide access. Michael thinks that's unique and has marketing possibilities so they can build on their brands. Booster says that he's in and they can use Cord Industries' money since it would be good PR and a tax break for the company, wanting to call themselves Booster and Beetle Super Service, but Ted thinks that sounds like they are exterminators, thinking about blue and gold restoration. Michael thinks that it should be gold and blue, but Ted thinks it should be the other way around since it sounds better. Light years away on an alien world, the alien princess Omnizon returns, regretfully informing her master that she doesn't have the captives since there was some interference, allowing Earth's prime defenders to escape. The alien says that Omniron is their regent and superior, so they have no right to interfere, and while Earth is out in the distant fringes, it's still their planet. Princess Omniron says she'll give her word that they will kill the pests who did this, since they are her subjects and are obligated to serve or perish.